Look at these guys. Pindo palm fruit, also called jelly palm. They grow here in North Florida. We don't have a tree, but we have an undisclosed location where we got these. No, we didn't steal them from someone. I have never made jelly with them. Apparently, it works without any short gel. They have enough pectin if they're ripe enough. I have no idea if they're ripe enough for jelly. I've never done it, but that's what I'm going to try today. Even if it doesn't set as a jelly, we'll still have a good syrup. Aren't they beautiful? They taste really good too. A tropical fruit taste. They come from the pindo palm, and the pindo palm has these stalks on it that first bloom and then eventually set the fruit. A lot of fruit. Okay, some of these guys have this little hat top thing on. This is the attachment to the stalk, and I'll just take that off. It doesn't come off just like that. You have to pull a little bit, but I pre-prepared that because I only have one hand. I'll take all these off, make sure they're off, and then I'm gonna wash the whole bunch. Just like that. It's gonna take a couple rinses. As you can see, the water's quite dirty. So 2 or 3 times, and I'm comfortable they'll be clean. They cleaned up quite nicely. Got these little top hats off. There weren't very many. And now it's time to process them. All right, this is the pit they have inside. It's really rock hard, thingy like that. There's a difference in recipes. Some say you just boil down the whole fruit the way it is with the pit in it. Others say you have to get this pit out. Well, let me tell you, this is a job to get this pit out because these guys are so fibrous, you can't just get it off. It's like a peach pit that doesn't come off. And I'm not going to sit there and cut this. So I saw somebody commenting on one of the recipes how they do it, and that's quite nifty. This is the magic wand. I didn't think it would work. I thought these pits are going to get blasted and then I have pit puree in there, but not so. So I got, I'm not overfilling this, just a little bit, and a tiny little bit of water. And then I blitz this up just for 3 seconds or so. Okay, maybe it was more like 5 seconds, but look at this. Let me get it out. It's quite magical. It's pureed, and now I just have to go through and take the whole pits out. It didn't do anything to them, but it got all the flesh away. This is the best thing I've ever read. I'm so glad I didn't have to do this manually. So, pits and flesh, and all this still to go. It's gonna take a little while because I have to work in tiny small batches. Through this made a lot of yummy stuff. See, it's all thick and jelly-like already. I still have these to go. These are the pits that came out. So I think traditionally this really is only used to make jelly. People say you don't want to make jam, marmalade out of it because it's so fibrous. But while I was blending this, I thought I could just blend it up and see if I can make jam out of it, which would be fabulous. So I'm going to split these up then and try both. So this whole pot will be jelly. It'll be a lot less because it has to be strained, and I'm suspecting there's a lot of fiber left. I do not add sugar right now because I want to have the jelly sugar to taste. I will have to add sugar even though I don't like it, but it's really sour at this point. I'm gonna just let this simmer for an hour or so. It's about half an hour into simmering like this, and it does seem to get a little more liquidy. So I think the juices are starting to come out there. That blender trick is really cool. I must say this is awesome. But you have to know, it sounds like, it feels like you're blending rocks. So if you do it, blitz it just a couple seconds, and do not use your best blender for that. It has to do a number on the blades. And then it did it pretty good though. So far out of this big pot, I got one pit out I missed, and then some couple shards that were hacked off, I suppose. And that's it. The rest is really nice and just fruit pulp. Can't wait to see how this turns out. I love doing new things. Okay, it's been a good hour and 7 minutes. I'm happy with it, I think. I'm also losing patience and it's really hot at the stove. So I'll shut this off and let it cool down to where I can strain it. It has finally cooled off enough where I can strain it. Look, it's so beautiful. It's like custard. Okay, now we're going to transfer this in here. I have, whoop, that fell over. I have a strainer here. I put it on a jar because that pot's not tall enough and I don't want it to sit in the juice. So a strainer, and this is a mesh bag for brewing. You can use cheesecloth. I never buy cheesecloth anymore because it's so expensive. I buy the organic cloth diapers for babies and wash them a couple times and use that. Holds up much longer too. So let me dump this in there. Here we go. It's all in and it's already dripping. So I'm going to be really curious how much juice we get out compared to the amount of pulp it was, but it'll make some jellies. This didn't drain fast enough for my taste sitting in there, so rigged it up with the top cabinet so the bag's elevated a little in there and gravity does its job. So it turns out draining it is excruciatingly slow. I've been, squeezing this bag on and off. I'll keep doing that. But I'm going to stop for today because I have to make dinner and I still have a whole bunch of beautiful chanterelle mushrooms to clean up. I think I'll leave this hanging overnight and then give it another really hard squeeze tomorrow morning. And then we'll see. But look, there's quite a bit of liquid that came out. So exciting. Alright, so I didn't feel comfortable leaving it overnight. I thought there's no need for this to ferment into jelly palm wine. So I squeezed it out and it's pretty dry. You can see how fibrous this stuff is. It smells so good though. I wish I knew of a use for this other than giving it to the chickens. And we are left with quite a bit of juice. It's cloudy like apricot juice, stuff like that. It's not clear. I'm gonna stuff this in the fridge and tomorrow we see if it sets as jelly, if the jelly palm actually deserves the name jelly without the pectin added. So one recipe I pulled up is from the National Center for Home Food Preservation, and they are using 5.5 cups of strength juice and 7.5 cups of sugar. Why me? That's more sugar than juice. Why would I want to do that? Different, we'll do it different. I'm getting ready to can it up now. Alright, so I've had this boiling for a little while now to reduce it down some. Because I added water when I blended it, I don't really need to can up the water, I just want the juice. So hopefully some of the water boiled out. And there is some, it's not foam, but it gets this layer on top that I've been scooping off, which is a really curious thing. It's really thick and waxy kind of. I'm guessing this is from the outside on the skin because that's what their skins really feel like, kind of waxy. So I'm taking this off too. I don't think we need this in the jar. And then I'm just about ready to can up. Lids are boiling and the water's getting hot. Alright, they're all in their jars. The rims are wiped. It made quite a bit. It's so beautiful. I'm getting ready to put the lids on and then process them. I tell you though, if they don't turn out to be jelly, my feelings won't be hurt because it tastes so good. It's like a mix between passion fruit, mango, pineapple. It's delicious. If I were a mixed drinker, I'm sure that would make a good drink. Alright, they're all in. I'm waiting for the rolling boil and then I give them, I think, 15 minutes. Should be good. Alright, they're all out of the canner. Look how beautiful. I'll tighten the lids. We'll find out if it sets or not tomorrow. Oh, these are Tattler lids, by the way. They're reusable. I love them. All my canning gets done in Tattlers. Never run out of canning lids. So, and while these cool down, I will go through the same blender process with the remaining ones. And I want to see if I can turn them into jam by blending that pulp a couple extra times before I actually process it. So this is the second pot. I just did the same thing with depulping it in the blender. And this is the one, you see how lumpy and fibrous it is. And I was hoping that by blending this again, I'll get a nice smooth consistency for, I don't know, canning it up for smoothies or in ice cream or jam. But this did not work. Total pipe dream. So in the first one, the fibers are, okay, is this visible? They're really thickish, you see? You can't eat this. It's like eating a cotton ball. And then in the other one, it is smoother, but it still has these fibers. You just can't get rid of it. Now, it's possible that this has to do with my mixer, because that's just a cheapo model. And I'm sure the blades are dull by now. So if you have a Vitamix or something like this, you could try. But yeah, that didn't work. Was a good idea. Couldn't execute it. So I'm just going to do the same thing with this and turn it into the same juice or jelly, whatever it's going to turn into. And then next we'll see if it's set or not. And here we go. The results are in. Let's see. The half pints, these little jelly jars. I already popped the lid. I can get it off. This is clearly not jelly. The furthest from the truth is that this jelly pumps makes jelly. You do need pectin, but it is so delicious. It's a beautiful tropical taste. So here's how we enjoy it. Palmonade. Yum. A lot of work. The taste is worth it though. There's nothing comparable. I would do it again.